Car mechanic or car mechanic near me. It's funny. We in the automotive industry, we like to call our mechanics technicians. Um, the general public likes to call technicians mechanics. And it's funny because, if you say technician, then it can be a technician that works in a hospital or anything else. But when you say mechanic, then it pretty specific to most everybody that it's somebody that's going to be working on equipment on a car. It's a car mechanic. Um, it's an amazing thing to me. Really doesn't matter, I guess, but it does because you want to be called a garbage person or a sanitation engineer person. Um, and it's funny, like a garbage man is what they were called. It- Funny. It's not a garbage woman, it's a garbage man. Not so then it's not really a garbage person. So then it's a matter of, what's politically correct and all of the other stuff that gets weirdly involved. Um, but a car mechanic, there are plenty of technicians that are men and women nowadays, and the a mechanic, it should actually say car rocket scientist mechanic, because most mechanics are literally rocket scientists. The things that they have to know as far as electrical and electronics, the average car's got 20, 30, 40 onboard computers now. It's got miles of wiring, it's got connections that the sensors and stuff are inside of transmissions and everything. They're under dashes. They're buried behind so much stuff. I mean, when you open up your hood, can you see a bunch of wires running around? No, you really can't because they're covered up. Do you see a bunch of sensors running around? No, you can't because they're covered up. Um, it's just an amazing thing. And then a car mechanic is supposed to fix your car cheaply. And they're supposed to check your car for free. The amount of, a good alignment machine nowadays is, rack and alignment machine is over 65,000. The manufacturers are playing games with all of the different testing things, the testing equipment. So, the right to repair. And, so if like with an eye product, only certified eye people can work on an eye product. Really? Um, you buy an Audi and they don't want to release the proprietary stuff on what it takes to actually be able to diagnose the Audi, because they want it to you to go back to the dealer. So the reason that the aftermarket auto repair mechanic near me is a big deal is if the manufacturers had the car manufacturers had done a really good job to begin with, because the customers were theirs to lose to begin with. And if they would have just done what they needed to do to take care of the public, then the automotive aftermarket would not be around. Okay. And you would be going back to the dealer to get your car fixed anyway. But a bunch of manufacturers had the next mindset. They weren't worried about the current customer, they were worried about the next one. And they're not worried about taking care of the cars because they're in the business of selling cars, number one. They're the car dealership that sells cars. That's its primary objective. There's some very few dealerships that don't worry so much about selling new cars as they do, or they'll want to sell the new cars as well as take care of their customers. Not saying that all dealerships are created equal and all of them are the devil by any stretch. But the reason that the automotive aftermarket actually exists is simply because customers weren't taken care of by the manufacturer to begin with. And when and if that's the case, then you have there's a void, and the automotive aftermarket filled that void. And there's so many shops now, it's not even funny. I mean, look at all of the automotive aftermarket shops. And I mean, think about how big the dealerships would be and how many dealerships there would be if there weren't automotive aftermarket at this point. The key is to find a good one, an automotive aftermarket repair shop with a good technician, a good auto repair mechanic in it, and build a great relationship with the shop. Let them learn to trust you as you learn to trust them, because trust goes both ways. Don't have the hope that the car is not going to need anything, because it's going down the road bouncing and vibrating all the time, getting hot and cold, and it's got a bunch of onboard computers, so of course it's probably going to need something, especially eventually. And maintain all of it. Don't just change the oil. Maintain your shocks, struts, flushes, filters, belts, hoses, timing belt, spark plug, balance line, battery services. Do everything by time and mileage like you're supposed to, aftermarket wise, not by OE, original equipment manufacturer specs. Plan on spending at least $3,000 a year per car that you drive if you drive from 0 to 15,000 miles. Plan on spending more if you drive more. Budget for your car so you can take care of your car. The number one reason that, there is so many shops out there to begin with is because people aren't maintaining their cars like they're supposed to. I believe a major shock and strut company literally said that if you went into the junkyard, you'd see that like 90% of cars still have their original equipment shocks and struts. And it's one of the main reasons why motor mounts and transmission mounts and suspension, the rack and pinion, tie rod ends, ball joints, control arm bushings, all of this stuff just gets hammered because we don't replace the shock and strut like we're supposed to. It's an amazing thing that if we would just take care of the car and drive it until it rusts around our ears, then we would have so much extra money. But the people in the United States, they have bought into the original equipment manufacturers, new car smell. Oh, I need that new car smell. Well, go rent one. Rent one for a week. It's a whole lot cheaper than going buying it and it costing you almost $1 a mile to drive for the first 75,000 miles. And when you think about the sales tax and the registration fees and the depreciation and then, it costs so much more to drive a new or a used vehicle that you're buying than it does the one that you own. It's not even funny. But plan on spending at least 20 cents a mile for every mile that you drive. And don't forget, it's by time or mileage. So from 0 mileage to 15,000 miles a year, it's going to cost you $3,000 a year on average per car that you drive. You definitely need to find a phenomenal automotive repair shop, build a relationship with them. It's not about how fast they can get it done. It's about how well they can get it done if you give them the time and the money to get it done. Stay safe, stay strong.